What is up, my dudes? Firstly, it has been a very long time. And we just hit 2K. I just realized that, and it was probably a long time ago. I'm about to look here. 2.04. So it has been a minute. Well, today I'm going to hit you with a little bit more rhythm. That's right. We are going to start the Riddim From Scratch series. Oh my god, there's a freaking spooter, my dude. Anywho, alright, so we're just gonna jump right into this here. I already have a project open here, where I have pretty much like my drums already in a drum rack. Just having like an audio track, in a blank default serum. I think for this track, I'm probably just gonna start maybe adding a little bit of effects and melodies and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to start with a serum, and then, I don't know, maybe we'll start with like a triangle. And we're going to be at 145 BPM. Don't forget the BPM, my guy. And then, I don't know, we're going to do today's, in this series, whatever, we're going to do it in the key of E minor. Maybe add a few voices, maybe detuned it slightly. And we'll just go 2. So it's a little bit wide. Maybe add a little dimension expander, like 20 and 40, sure, that sounds great. And then turn this mix down and the unison down. And then, I don't know, we'll put a low pass on it, key track it. Then, I don't know, we'll throw like multi-band maybe? No. Just a little bit of compressor. And then, do I want to put a filter? No, we'll wait for right now. But I'm going to send it to the reverb, -15, maybe -30 on our long reverb. You can check these out here. These are my return tracks I have set up. And I'm actually going to change this up a little bit here. Change the density and scale. Change the pre-delay. No diffusion. We're going to change the size to 3. We're going to change the stereo to 90. Because we don't want it to be like too far out of phase or too wide. And then same thing with our long reverb. We're going to do a low cut again. We'll do it up to 300. Pre-delay is fine. Delay time's fine. We're going to change that. We're going to change the diffusion. We'll change... Actually, no, we'll keep the size. We'll just change the stereo to 90. And that should be fine. It's pretty quiet, but that would make sense with these shaper boxes on there too. And then we'll bring that up. Alright, so another thing is, I think I'm just going to add one of these horns. This one sounded decent. So we'll probably have that come in at maybe 8 bars in. And then we'll just add like a little lead that starts in the beginning and then comes into this. We're not going to do the typical 16 bar intro and build for today, so we're actually going to move these another 8 bars. So our intro is going to be 16. Well, intro 8, then 8 bar verse, and then 8 bar build. That's what I've been doing lately, is just having like a 24 bar, basically like intro verse build kind of deal. That way it gives a little bit more room to breathe and have some melodic aspects that can really breathe and not feel rushed. So right now it's just starting like it's sidechained, and I don't want that. So now we'll just go ahead and try to make a melody. Something of that nature. And I'm going to solo this so that way we can kind of hear it. And we're going to do quarter notes, so doot, doot. Then I'm going to have a little pickup note there. And then yeah, something like that. Yeah, so we're just gonna draw on some notes here and just kind of wing it. Sound good to you guys? Yeah, cool. Thanks for the... Yep, that's what we're doing. Kind of don't like... I don't like the way this flows right here. We'll have a little suspense there at the end. Alright, so we're going to put this in the beginning, and then we'll duplicate, put it over here, and then, you know what, just for the sake of this series and whatnot, I'm just going to grab some presets here. So, we're going to try some Plex from Hawk's preset pack, which is a lo-fi pack, and I do believe it was free, I think. Actually, I think that would be a perfect intro one, because it's really like creepy and weird. So scratch the one that we had, and then we'll go ahead and try to find another one in that pack that's a little bit more hard hitting. So I'm just going to go through and make it a little bit more mono, at least voice-wise, and then I'm going to go in with the dimension expander on it. So now we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to init the preset, and then we're just going to have a super wide saw wave. A little bit of multi-band, and maybe a little bit of tube. Yeah. And then we'll just quiet it up a little bit. And this one's gonna have to be a little louder. Cool, so now we got that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try to find one of my Hoovers. And God, I just love to name all my stuff really stupid things. There we go. Alright. So now we got that. Now we're going to use the infamous, well, first I'm going to plug this in here. And then we're going to use the infamous Fat Rack. Ah. Such a difference. Now I'm going to cut majority of this low end because we're going to add our own sub bass with that. Maybe cut a little bit of the high as well. Well, maybe more than that. Sounds good. So now we're going to add a sub bass with it. That horn we have is definitely quite low end heavy, so we're going to have to be careful there. And then I'm going to want to make this completely different shape-wise, so that we can have that. We're definitely not going to want to have the Fat Rack on this, I don't think. No, definitely not. Maybe a little less of the air can there. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my preset for this sub. Audio effect rack. There we go. Nice and fat. And I'm going to change this around a little bit. Also, you guys, G-Clip is a free saturation slash soft clipper, hard clipper kind of deal. And I tell you what, this thing works wonders, especially for shaping the tone of your sub. It is just next level, my guy. Like, you need to get this. You just need it. It's one of the best tools in my arsenal. Without this thing, this sub just sounds like shit. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but with this, at the right numbers, of course. Like, it's just heavy Chevy. Kind of happy with that right there. And then I'm gonna bring it down a bit, try to match it with this Hoover. I feel like the Hoover needs a little bit more mid, a little bit less height. Perfect, but now we're gonna have to come up here and we're gonna have to cut quite a bit of the low end off of this. But not too much of the mid. And definitely add some height, because that is low quality as hell. There we go, get a little bit more of the crispness of that height. And some definitely add a little bit of the reverb there. And then we're gonna grab my sample pack effects here. We're gonna grab one of the swells to kind of go into this. Maybe put it down a little bit. And then, let's see. I'm gonna grab this swell and I'm just gonna reverse it. Bada boom, bada bing. Definitely gotta turn this one down a little bit more. And then I think I'll probably end up resampling the Hoover and the sub bass and probably end up shaping them to be a little bit more like this horn, so where it just kind of like draws out a little bit and it's not just sustained the entire time. And then we could always add, you know, like more effects and whatnot. I could put this over here, add some reverb to it, and then maybe add a kick here for a little punch. A little punch in there. And of course we're gonna have to do, you know, some side chain and whatnot, so I'm gonna grab that. And I'm an idiot because I didn't make an automation, so now I'm gonna have to go through and copy and paste all those again because I didn't make an automation. So make sure to do automations before you copy and paste them all over the place. Alright, and the same thing with up here. Bada boom, bada bing. Now we should have side chain on all that, and it's automated to where it's just where this kick is. Cool, sounding good. And I'm probably gonna want to grab a utility and just turn this up a little bit. Probably like 6. And maybe only 25 width. Just because we don't want it to be super wide and then bring in this, which is gonna be super wide once we start adding more and more to it. Just because we want to have it to where it's completely different. When it comes in, it's just like, wow, you know, it's really in your face. And it kind of adds to the creepiness, but more like in the middle with only 25 width on it. And we should probably change this too. I'll just have to find a different impact. I think I have some in my pack actually. Here we go. Unwarp, bada boom, bada bing. And I don't know if you guys noticed at all, but this right here is super warped, and I had it on beats. You hear kind of like the volume's kind of weird. So I'm just going to end up unwarping that, then warp it again to where it keeps this this BPM, then bring it over here, because we don't want it to sound all like robotically like warped. Alright, so now we're going to add some additives. Now, one of the things I like to do is I like to make all of my own background effects and noises and everything into one layer. So that way I can just drag and drop it into my drops or into my verses, whatever, to just really fill in the space instead of having to search through all of my samples or just create all of my stuff every single time. And that way it also helps with honing in on my own sound, that I just use all of my own stuff in almost every track, as far as like effects and yeah, effects. So this is one of the ones I've been using for some of my newer tracks I'm working on right now. Believe it or not, there's probably about 8 or 9 layers in this. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because we don't want it to be pushed into the foreground. We want it more in the background. So let's see how this sounds here. As you can see, I turned it down a little bit again, just because I could still hear the screech of the screechy violin. And cutting a little too hard in the mix. So yeah, just without it, it's, you know, it's kind of bare at the moment, but with it, it just really fills in that space. You know what? I'm just gonna shut up and play it. Bada boom, bada bing, baba booey. There it is. That is what we created today. And that's pretty much it. I will definitely be going over the build and a little bit of the drop in the next few episodes. We will definitely be adding more to this and maybe adding some more effects. Maybe some like more creepy, kind of eerie stuff in the background, just to kind of really hone in and try to make this like creepy kind of vibe, especially with like the time right now. I mean, we're only 2 days away from Halloween, so ayo. And let me know in the comments below, what are you being for Halloween this year? Let me know. Alright guys, so that is it for today's episode. Pretty soon here I'm going to be having a giveaway for a Deuces sweater, but right now we do still have some of the hoodies available, but it is very limited on what we have available for the special edition Deuces hoodies, and we do offer free shipping to the US. So if you guys want to check those out, I will leave a link in the description, and I'll put a little picture here so you can see what they look like. And thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.